Hello.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Busy?
Yes, keeping busy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you? I just saw your update
Oh,
in
yeah.
this journal, so
I know. I should log in more often. I'm like, oh, there's an update.
oh yeah, no worries. I know I
Yeah.
was posting a lot in the or a group, our accountability group, but then I realized people were posting a lot in the progress journal. So I've kind of been trying to track people in both places, but then I like confuse myself or like so
Yeah. It's like, it's been kind of quiet in the group. I'm like, okay, I guess I
I
should
go
look
back and just
over there too and see
yeah, just have to bounce back and
what they're
forth
up
from
to.
both of them. So yeah. So
Yeah.
how's it
I'll have
going?
to keep
I
track.
saw
Yeah.
your assessment come through. Did you want to chat about
Yeah.
that or
Sure.
okay, let's see. I just give me one second. I'm looking for a resource that I made me think of you when I was reading
Oh,
your thing and I'm looking
okay.
for
Thank you.
I bookmarked it, but now of course so I can't find it.
Too
So
many, too many. Yeah.
let's see.
You're getting married here pretty soon, right?
Yes, next weekend.
Oh my gosh, it's coming up. Oh, and you're trying to work and do the stuff. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's been a little bit crazy now. Like it was because we gave ourselves about 14 months to plan.
yeah.
It wasn't very stressful because we gave ourselves enough time, but now it's like everything's coming together. So it's like, oh God, who do we have to call? Who do we owe money to? What's
Yeah,
happening?
what's still open? Yeah.
Yeah. What did we miss? What still needs to be done? Like, oh my God, there's only 10 days left. If you need to buy something, like you gotta figure it out. So it's a little
Oh
bit
my
more
gosh.
stressful now than it has been like the entire year prior.
Yeah, good thing you had a long runway to plan, but still.
Right, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting. A real wedding, like with people and stuff too.
Yeah, with actual people, like
No more Zoom
100 people
weddings.
all in one room.
Oh
And
wow. Oh, you're
yeah.
not kidding. Oh,
The ceremony will be outside, but the reception will be inside. So hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain
so
or
cool.
snow or anything like that.
Okay. Who knows?
Right. We live in Wisconsin, so you never can tell what's going to happen.
Right. Is winter done? Not yet, right?
It's mostly done now. Yeah. I mean, we've had a little snow like end of March, but so far, no real snow, and it's been mostly raining. But that doesn't mean it
Okay.
won't still snow like one more time, and then it's gone.
Oops. Oh,
I
there it is.
it starts recording right away, and then I went to hit share screen and I hit the wrong button. So okay, so
Oh, oops. Okay. One of those buttons.
yeah, I'm okay here. Let me see if I can. I think I'd be Zoom savvy by
There
now,
it
but
goes.
I'm still
No,
struggle.
I know. It's like, which is it again? Sure. I see it.
What am I doing here? Yeah. So can you see my screen? Oops, I'm in
Yeah,
my
I can.
okay, let's see. So
Oh, I didn't know you could look at that. You can go see the who, where,
yeah, I
what.
don't know if you
Neat.
guys can on your end, but this helps us kind of figure out. So each group, each coach then like goes with their own group members' timelines and then works with them. So
Very cool.
yeah.
I'd forgotten what I put, so it's
Okay.
helpful. Wasn't that long ago.
So let's see. So you're in phase two, and you were in phase two in your last assessment as well. And that's just fine, just kind of reminding you from here to there.
Yeah.
So you're getting started with your first few projects for Moxie, copywriting, and finding your writing with it rhythm, which is fantastic because if you want to compare, you were still building your portfolio last time and completing escape velocity writing samples. You hadn't really started
Mhm.
um, a lot of actual client work yet. So that's fantastic. So nice work.
Right.
And
Yeah.
oh, what?
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, okay, sorry. So then, yeah, you said you
All
feel
right.
like you hit the milestone, hooking up with Moxie, where you're actually starting to get paid, and you made the decision to leave your day job. I remember you posted that in the group as well. So that's exciting. So when you celebrated, that's good, and getting faster and keeping track of your time, blocking off your mornings, which is fantastic, which yes,
Yeah.
can still be oversleeping or distracted. That happens to me too.
Yeah, like, oh, not
But
feeling it today, right?
oh, yeah. So yeah, keeping your phone out of reach, trying to just get up when, yep, I have that same thing. Just getting up when the alarm goes off. And then, are you using your timer? Was that your old school timer? Yeah, to do like, oh, yeah.
Got one of these things.
Oh, that's like what Angie has, I think, right?
I think I got it from Angie. I saw she posted a picture. I'm like, I found it on Amazon.
And
It's
how do
like
you like it?
old school, but better
Yeah,
than the phone where you're like, oh shoot, I opened up all my notifications
I
and
know,
no.
right? Yeah, I have this little timer too, right? That's
Oh,
the
that's
thing with the
perfect.
phone too. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll just check this quick. And then 15 minutes later, I'm like, oh God. And then I
Yeah.
close it and I realize I didn't even do what I originally meant to do. So yeah,
No.
better to
It's
keep the phone out of sight, yeah, away from the desk. That is helpful.
yeah, writing in sprints. Mhm.
Yeah, so yep, that's what I've been doing too, like the 30 minutes, maybe up to 50 minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes even shorter, like if you're struggling and it's like to even meet like a 30-minute day, which happens to me sometimes, even
Mm.
just 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Just to
And
force you to get started on something. It's like,
yeah,
okay, you have 15 minutes to come up with whatever it is.
yeah, maybe at the beginning
Five
of the
bullets.
day, yeah, you get started with just that short little burst. And I remember when I was struggling with burnout a while back, and I
Mm.
used to always write in like 30, 50-minute chunks, and I had to like claw my way back with like little 10-minute chunks because I just even 30
Oh,
minutes was just like too much for my brain. So there's absolutely no problem with going a shorter amount too. Like if that,
okay.
because then I just and then I was able to build back, like
And
instead
then
of
just
doing
walk
that.
away for a minute and then right, you start again. Mhm.
Yeah, right. And so if it's getting, and that's just a little friendly advice that I've experienced is just like if you find that 30 minutes even is too long, that's not like a minimum that you have to do. Yeah,
Okay.
even if it's just 10 minutes to like 15 minutes, and I think it's almost like doing push-ups. You get your reps in,
Yeah,
and the more you do it, the longer you can go for. So
right.
there's
You
that
carve
too.
those grooves in your brain. It's like, okay,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
gonna
And
work.
it trains you to, yeah, be that focused. Cause sometimes if you're just like, all right, now I'm just going to focus for 50 minutes and you're not used to doing that, like that's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's great. Thank you.
yeah, great. So, yeah, in the last round, you're just getting started, happy to be doing agency work for now. And so that means working with Moxie,
Yeah.
your agency work. Okay. Yeah. But then wanting to make some more money. I'm not sure where that'll come from yet. Um, Yeah, and so then you'll have more time to devote to it come
Mm.
July or after your race then, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Full time, so, yeah, protecting the writing time, challenging yourself to write faster. Less social media, yep, that's all the same. Yeah, and comparing yourself, yeah, definitely. The comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
and I find that for me, a good thing, like a kind of a trick for this is, rather like whenever you're inclined or if you find yourself comparing yourself to other people, rather than doing that, just compare yourself to like maybe where you were even last week or a
Mm.
week ago. Because really, ultimately, the only people we're ever really competing against is ourselves,
Right.
challenging ourselves to get better and make more money and get better at writing and all those things. But if you just compete against sort of your previous self with your evolving self, you get more, that provides more satisfaction. And it's actually a more accurate representation of your growth because it's almost the same thing as comparing someone else's front yard to your backyard. Like you don't see all the things that they're struggling with, because we all have those struggles. And so, and I know what that's like, that comparing yourself. But yeah, I had heard that once of like, just kind of only really challenging yourself or comparing, if you're going to compare yourself to anybody, let it be that previous version of yourself as you evolve
Mhm.
towards the best version of yourself. So,
Like taking a minute to recognize some progress. Like
yeah,
that's why in the assessment, it's like, well, how did you celebrate that? It's like, well, I didn't.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and even like I've had like where I like, oh, if I do this or this happens, I like have like a little treat or like something I want to buy for myself that I don't
Oh,
need, but that I want. And so then if I yeah, reach that milestone, then I'm like, oh, sweet, I get the thing or whatever. And it works differently for everybody. But that's been one of my kind of motivators too, is like, was seeing like that physical thing of like, oh, I can't wait to get that.
That's a really good idea. Just it could be just some little small thing, but not food.
Right, yeah.
Say, okay. So some little Amazon wish list or something. It's like,
Right, yeah, exactly. You could even create like your own separate like goal wish list, like a little
yeah,
private wish
that's a
list.
good
And
idea.
then
I'm gonna do
yeah,
that.
it's always helpful, I think. I like to shop though too. Like
Right. Just
so
right. Don't
that
distract yourself and
motivates
start
me.
shopping, but yeah, have that right.
Nice. So yeah, it looks like you've got a lot of really great ideas as far as keeping your phone out of reach, paying attention. Like that's setting the achievable daily goals.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then, yep, so I was thinking with this that, yep, that's still in that phase two, but you're definitely from like beginning of phase two to moving towards the end of phase two. Like you're still making progress, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Mm.
And then, yep, I like your bat signal. And I remember seeing that on your profile.
Mhm.
And then, yep, still working through EV and ECA. And so then, yep, you wanted to talk about what's next beyond Moxie, writing emails. Okay, and so that was the applying for work on job boards. I had discovered, and you might be able to find it, or maybe there's that newsletter, it's the Morning Brew. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, I used to subscribe, but they had jobs on there too. Morning Brew.
Well, they have a variation of Morning Brew that's called Marketing Brew. And so
Oh,
it's
okay.
all about like it's more of a marketing newsletter versus like like general news.
Yeah.
And they have like a marketing job board like specific. And some of
Okay.
them are remote. I have only just kind of scrolled through the
Mm.
titles. I haven't dug into it too far. But
Mm.
if you, I'm going to look for it again. But also, if you subscribe to
Yeah.
Marketing Brew, then I think that's where I first saw it too. It was just like in an email, and it was like, "Hey, check out the job board." And I was like, "Oh, so let's
Uh,
maybe we can find that where." Well,
Yeah,
so
I'll take a look at that. I think the
you,
trick is a lot of times, they want you to be a full-time employee and making that
yeah,
proposal. Like, I don't
right.
want to be a full-time employee. I want one project or I want to try a project with
Yeah,
you.
that's true. And that
Yeah.
might not be the best spot for.
But it might be a good conversation starter too.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
exactly. Just
let's
to
try it
take a
out.
look and see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Marketing Brew job board here. All
Okay.
right.
Mm.
So, and I think it's updated pretty regularly, but right now there's 109 jobs
Okay.
and a lot of them are remote.
Mm.
And then they have like that junior or mid-level, entry level. So maybe some of those,
Mhm.
and I would think now, I mean, it's hard to say but being sort of post-pandemic, like you would
Yeah.
think that people are pretty open to remote work, but at the same time, they might want you to be remote full time. And so, yeah,
Right. Right.
it's another resource to look at, like
Mhm.
kind of like LinkedIn, just to kind of see what else um, is out there.
What's out there?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is good. It's helpful. I've been looking at like LinkedIn. I think I'm on some notifications for Indeed. So I
okay,
get these,
yeah,
an email saying, hey, here's 15 other jobs that you could go check out. I'm like, okay.
nice. Well, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you've been writing some Facebook ads and thinking about the micro niche. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I just started looking at Anna's thing where she drills down into the avatars pretty deep, and it's the same product, but if you send the message to the specific
yeah,
people, there's a lot more research involved to get to that. But it's
cool.
yeah, I just thought I would give that a shot. Well, while I don't have a Moxie project, I'll work on that in the mornings. So
Nice. And
mhm.
yeah, if you don't mind, you want to just tell me a little bit about working for Moxie,
Yeah.
how you like the projects? Are they being pretty consistent or,
Yeah, it's been kind of trickling because I'm new and I don't know if the pace is really going to pick up. At this point, I'm happy with the trickling pace because I still have the full-time thing
yeah.
and I'm learning their processes and their systems and stuff. But they've given me 2 Facebook ads for coaches. And so I
Oh,
get a creative brief and all the details and maybe a website and go figure it out. But they have some templates and things that they provide and word counts and samples that I can borrow, kind of like
okay.
something in this format might work, and just make it fit that style. And then they've given me a bio for a lot of coaches right now. It's like,
Sure,
okay.
sure. And
Yeah,
do you
just 3 projects so far. So it's been good to get the feedback on the writing and go, okay, I see what you mean.
think-
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. It's very friendly. Yeah, I think they have like 14 writers, something like that. But they have this super fast turnaround, and sometimes they offer rush, which I don't know how you can get much faster than 3 to 5 days for something. But okay. So I'm
Yeah.
just having it back in because they're in Tennessee and I have to turn it in a certain amount of time. It's like, okay, I have this long to write this. So
Okay, yeah, and
yeah.
is that turnaround time all right? Like with, is?
Yeah, it's because they're small projects. It seems to be
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah. Sorry about the noise next door. Someone's running their engine.
And is that, I remind me, is that the field that you wanted to work in more? I know you came from a financial background, you wanted to do something a little different. Was coaching where you wanted to go or not?
I don't know what I wanted to do. I'm like, okay, what niche, what type of writing? At first I'm like, okay, email sounds great. Watching Chris's stuff, bio writings. I've done some LinkedIn bio writing. But now I see there's a training coming up at the end of the month for financial copywriting. So I'm going to check that out too. So I'm still kind of open. I kind of feel like I lean towards natural products, maybe e-com, people who teach something like music teachers or something like that, information publishing.
Cool.
So that's kind of why I'm like, okay, can I write for an agency for a while and see what they give me?
Mhm.
Gives me some ideas of what I want to do.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, like I guess what do you kind of see your ideal sort of near future looking like the agency and then like 1 or 2 retainer clients or sort of like an ongoing variety of one-off projects or kind of.
I think I just listened to Kevin talk to Yara Golden, and I'm like, okay, I was going to ask you if you had any background on working for her, but I think maybe a couple of agencies and then a couple of retainer clients. Not my strong suit is going to get clients on my own and doing the whole client onboarding thing. So I think having the ongoing connections would be a better fit for me for starters.
Yeah, that's kind of been my struggle when I was freelancing too, was that client, like a lot of my clients ended up coming from referrals or, kind of, and it's a little easier once you get started and you get some clients.
Yeah.
And, actually one, and I don't know if you're really, I don't know if this was legit the way they did it, because now it's been a while, but I found one of a client that I really liked in the beginning on Upwork, but rather
Okay.
than working all, I think they did pay me through Upwork. So yeah, but it ended up being like an ongoing, consistent retainer email, like writing like I think it's three to four or 4 to 5 emails a week, and then writing them like far enough in advance so it wasn't like, oh, we need this tomorrow. It was like they were really good about planning out their whole editorial calendar, or like this is what we're promoting, and then just kind of giving me free reign to.
They were organized.
Yeah, so they were organized. So, but I
Yeah.
found them through Upwork, so that even might be. Upwork's a little
Okay.
hard. You gotta weed through a lot of people that want
Yeah.
to pay you and and everything.
Right.
But
I
not
thought I
impossible.
was on there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Exactly. But if you get a client through Upwork, Upwork is going to want a piece of any ongoing
Yeah.
work. Or did you take it offline? Yeah.
I'm trying to, I feel like I said, this is several years ago now, but I feel like they still paid me through Upwork, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So, but we were able to negotiate the price, I think, so that what I got, like what we negotiated or what they paid me was they still covered the cost of Upwork's whatever they took out of it. So I still
Their
got like
share.
right, yeah. So they said that they paid me say $1,000 a month, and then they just budgeted it in to cover Upwork's fee or whatever.
Right.
So that's and not that they would need to, like your client would need to do that, but you would just want to budget in like, well, how much is Upwork going to take? Like, then I want more, or enough to cover whatever, $25 more or whatever.
What's my net?
cover
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, yeah, you're kind of, you don't want to negotiate like, oh, $1,000 a month, and then it ends up being, like 900 because Upwork takes so much or whatever. So, yeah,
Right,
so,
right. They take 10%. Yeah,
right.
that's a good idea.
Kind of coordinate that, but have
Mhm.
you had any luck from LinkedIn, or I know you've been kind of scoping those out, or?
Yeah, I started down that road for a while, and now I'm just sort of on a holding pattern until I can make my exit. So I'm like, okay, I got the Moxie thing. I feel like that's some kind of a holding on to this life raft until I'm ready to turn up the volume in August when I'm free again.
Have
And
you let Moxie know that you're going full-time in August, or that you could certainly maybe?
I haven't yet. I'm just going to get ramped up, for a couple months here and let them know I'm going to be gone in July. And I don't know if that's going to be an issue for them. I don't think so, but because it's so part-time.
Mhm.
But I want to be upfront with them about that and just say, hey, in August I'll have more time available. So
Right, yeah, yeah, so
yeah,
that's an option there too, that you might be
Mhm.
able to ramp up with them pretty quickly in
yeah,
August, especially if you kind of discuss it with them before, and maybe, you guys can kind
yeah,
of plan on it. And
good
then,
idea.
yeah, and then that way you can at least build up there at least a little bit, maybe while you're looking
Yeah,
for something else or finding that balance. Um, and who knows, maybe they'll be able to refer someone to you in that time too, like,
Mhm.
because I feel like that's so much of where, like I said, where my clients had always come from, was just that kind of word of mouth and working with different people,
Yeah.
and just getting, yeah, like that was a lot of,
Organic kind of way of doing it. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I forget, are you in the Mentors Collective with Marcella?
No, you told me about her and I followed the Facebook page.
Okay.
So I'm on there. I get get emails and stuff. Yeah, but I didn't join officially.
Okay, because I think, and they used to anyway, put like post jobs in there.
Yeah, I did
And I
see
think,
it.
and Chris Orzechowski will post like overflow jobs, like ones that either the agency can't handle, or they want something a little bit different than what the agency provides or whatnot. Um, so on his email list, he'll list those every now and again too.
Oh,
Um,
does he? Okay, I'm on his list, but I haven't seen that come
Okay,
through. But
I think it's been
yeah.
a little while, yeah, since the last one I saw. And then are you in an ECA Facebook group at all? I know he used to have
No,
that. I don't know if he's
is
still
there a
there.
Facebook for it? I
There
didn't know.
was, I don't know if there still is, but you can take
Okay,
a
I'll
look.
check. Yeah, I just sat in on his one person agency webinar thing yesterday. Yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
How
Monday.
was it?
Yeah,
I need to
that was
go, and I had a
interesting.
meeting, conflicting meeting. So you thought it was good?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I'm not sure what I want to do with that, but I'm not going to join this round because it starts in a week or something. But I think he offers it on a regular basis. And
Yeah.
if I want to go with email, like this sounds pretty good, doing
Yeah,
the whole package. But then again, I have to go get my own clients and do the whole,
yeah.
is it, I feel like I'm doing something. Am I doing something wrong by not wanting to have my own clients? Is it okay to just work for agencies or get a couple of?
No. Yeah, I think, like, that's the thing with Chris. I think that, like, he's so good at what he does, but I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he's a good
amazing.
email writer, but he also has that drive and that passion to, like, to own a business and to, like, build kind of an empire, whereas, like,
Yeah,
that's just, for someone like me
yeah.
who's pretty introverted, like, that sounds exhausting. I'm just like,
Right,
oh, like, good on you, like,
right,
that's awesome, but that's not for me. So,
right. Yeah, it's pretty incredible to watch what he comes up with in his email list and stuff. It's like sometimes it's just, oh, you wear me out. I don't know how you do it.
yeah, yeah. But he's
Yeah,
got a lot going on and lots of offers out there, and he's doing great. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's
make it
just not
rain and all.
my brain, I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm more on the other spectrum, whatever spectrum that is. Yeah,
Yeah. And what
yeah.
was were you thinking, your path was the kind of the just leave me alone to write kind of writer,
I,
or?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I would. I don't know. Maybe it's my ego saying I'd like to get to the point where I can do it. I can get my own clients. It's like, well, just make it easy on yourself for starters. Just get something where they're giving you the work. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
And
and that's true.
maybe that's all I'm gonna need for a while.
Right, yeah. And that's again, that sort of comparison where,
Yeah.
because sometimes, yeah, it's like, oh, well, look at Chris, he's got all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And if you
No,
don't,
I don't want that.
yeah, right.
No,
Then
Chris.
don't even worry about what they're doing over there.
Right. What's happening over there? Yeah, at some point I want to, my husband's a musician and we started dabbling in doing some kind of online teaching for him. So at some point I'd like to have the time to dedicate to that, where that can be the thing that I help create, if I'm trying to get something rolling on our own, then I can work for the people and then do my thing. So having the time, I guess, to balance all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think I remember I went to a magnetic marketing, like Dan Kennedy's magnetic marketing,
Oh, yeah.
like a boot camp. And yeah, some of the folks that I met there, I mean, they were and what's neat about Dan Kennedy, I think it's less about writing copy and it's more about just sort of marketing in general, meaning more of like almost like systems of marketing and like that, like message to market match kind of thing.
Okay.
And so there were people there that were like a husband and wife duo that I think one of them was like a painter. And so then the other one was helping to create sort of that online business model with the marketing to help sell the paintings. And I think they were selling like a ton of paintings to like hospitals and like sort of institutions, where you need like a ton of artwork. And so it was just interesting of like, oh, like how sort of niche you can get and like really all the things that you can use marketing for. It's just, I think a lot of people either don't realize it or, like, yeah, there's so many ways like you can employ your skills and so many different people. Because yeah, there's been like in some of the agency work that I've done, there was, there's been, let's see, like a natural skincare products and like life coaches and like fitness, like fitness products and things like that. And there may be people that like you've never heard of, but yet they like almost like Instagram, like maybe you've never heard of them, but they've got like 3 million followers on Instagram. Like there's a market, there, but now it's almost the social media things can get so small. It's like, oh, we'll never heard of them. It's like, oh, well, these 5 million people have heard of them and they're clamoring to buy all the things.
It's not on TV, right?
Right. Yeah. And so much of that can be really underground and it might just take a little bit of kind of exploring different things and working with the agency and trying different products before you kind of land on like, oh, like, wow, I didn't even know this was here, but this is awesome.
Yeah, I like writing for this. Yeah. Right. Like people think marketing is a dirty word, and so that's sort of thing too, right?
Well, and there's like that the ethical way of going about it, and I like because I struggled with that a little bit too, but I like thinking of it in that idea of like if a company or if you or a company has a product or a service that's going to solve people's problems, then you really have an obligation to get that word out there so that people don't continue to suffer, So I guess I think of it like that a little bit too, like, and it's not that everything, like, I think Laura Belgray and I have it printed somewhere, wrote a great article about, like how people are like, oh, your product has to solve a problem. But she's like, her argument was like, that's not necessarily true. Like, I go to like this website and I see a sweater and it might be like $200. No, I don't need it. And it doesn't really solve a problem.
What problem does it solve?
Yeah, right. It's like this sweater doesn't solve any big world problems, but I want it and I'm gonna buy it. So it was a really great, I have to kind of look around where I might have that.
I probably have seen that. Yeah.
It was just a really great kind of new perspective on it instead of being like, well, what's your pain point? Like, what problem are you solving? It's like, well, not everything is like that. So, for example, okay, so I found it. So,
you have it? Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, you don't have to fill an explicit need. She's like, here's an example. Say my writing's not flowing today. I'm frustrated with myself and I decide to procrastinate by browsing Shopbop, which is her favorite fashion site. So I'm browsing the what's new section. I see a cute polka dot sweater I definitely don't need. I have enough sweaters, but I do need it because I want it. It would look cute on me. I picture myself wearing it to dinner. I picture it casual with jeans, dressy with a skirt and jewelry. My need here isn't really the sweater. I'm needing distraction. and a little rush of buying something, acquiring. It's a drug, an expensive one, but again, return policy. Mostly
Ah,
mostly I need and want to look good. And under that is a need for other people to think I look good, because unfortunately I care what they think. And under that need is a need to feel loved and accepted, which is the ultimate primal fundamental human need. But you're not going to advertise a sweater by saying the polka dot sweater that instantly gives you a feeling of attractiveness, accepting, and belonging without any expensive procedures or years of therapy. Is this you? So it was just, yeah, like it's
your
just,
purpose in life. Yeah.
yeah, you know, that in a way that like, yeah, I don't know, it's just in a way like marketing can be fun like that, you know, and like a little bit like I was telling you how that one speaker that I had saw talked about writing about lures, fishing lures, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and he was an avid fisherman and he enjoyed it. But yeah, it's like nobody really needs a fishing lure. Like anybody can just go to the store and buy fish these days, you know, but like it's solving like that deeper need of like being like a sportsman, like an angler, like getting impressive pictures, like that joy of like catching the fish, you know, like
Wearing the cool vest and that stuff. Yeah.
right, yeah, having all the gear, yeah. So yeah, I think maybe too, like when we're writing, I think I totally strayed onto like down some rabbit hole here.
No, it's good stuff. It's like, yeah.
Just yeah, kind of getting, I think I was just thinking about all the things in the world that we could be writing about.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like the financial, it doesn't have to be the big sales letter, you know, the is this you, you know, classic direct response marketing. Like there's so many ways we can be employing our craft these days, and it might not look like what we think it's going to look like, but it's going to be the thing that we enjoy and pays the bills and, you know, provides us with the life that we want, while also providing the life that other people want through sweaters and fishing lures.
Right. Right. You have to think if it's done right and it feels good, it's like you're giving information to people who need it, you know. It's like it isn't all evil. It's like writing Facebook ads. I'm like, oh, Facebook. Oh my gosh. It's like, well, if there are legitimate businesses that are trying to, you know,
Right.
operate and find people who need what they have to sell. Some of it may be
I
just
bought lots of things off of Facebook ads that just scroll through, you know, pop up in my feed, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that looks good, and, you know.
Yeah, they targeted me successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how I came across Athletic Greens and ended up buying that, and that's like a pretty expensive product. It's like
It's
$90
really
a month.
expensive. I was looking at that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I noticed right away that I felt better, like more
Really?
energetic, you know, and so like, yeah, and there's been other like some like yoga cards, like they're like different yoga poses and stuff. So like totally random stuff that like I don't necessarily need, you know,
Yeah.
but I once I had it, I found that it did improve my life.
Yeah. Right. It's like, oh, I can use that. Yeah.
I almost think about Facebook ads a little bit almost like the new advertorial, or like weren't we talking to about like in the, well, I always look at it the news app, but like it like BuzzFeed and a lot of these articles that you read are really just advertorials nowadays with the links to go with like basically affiliate links. Yeah. And like, so that any link that your reader is clicking on is still like, and if they buy, then it's still that revenue is coming back. And there is that disclaimer at the top, like we might make some money if you click on these links kind of thing. But that's almost like you're, you know, you're writing content, but you're selling a lot of stuff too. So
but subtly, right?
yeah, but very subtly, yeah. And yeah, and a lot of times they're like, these 37 sweaters on Amazon or something, you know, like the
Oh, right.
or whatever.
Some intriguing headline thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's and it's selling subtly, but at the same time, it's kind of like obvious because it's like these sweaters are on Amazon, but check them out. But then it is kind of like back to Laura's point of like when I'm scrolling through the news app, I don't need 37 sweaters. I don't even need a sweater necessarily, but it's providing that distraction. And then I might come across something where I'm like, ooh, I do like that.
Yeah. It's
like
entertainment and right, comfort and right, all things.
Yeah, like
Right.
all the things. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't, then it really, it depends on, what kind of writing you like to do and, um, but yeah, there's yeah, there's just so many different ways that you can do it and make a lucrative living off of it and feel good about what you're selling, who you're selling to, how you're making your money, you know. So I don't doubt that it's out there for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to go down the road where I've in the past where I get the nickel and dime clients. Like, this is the time where I want to do, like, I don't need to make a lot of money, but I want to make a good living.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not going to crush it. I'm
Well,
older. I want some continuity. I want some activity, but
something you enjoy too.
yeah,
Like, yeah, at this point, you don't want to slog and, like, oh, I gotta do some freelance work.
right, right. I don't want it to feel, yeah, like that. I don't want it to be full time either. So it's like, okay, I'll have to balance all those things,
Yeah,
but for the time that I spend, I want to be paid well. So that's kind
right.
of what I'm trying to, how do I get there?
Yeah.
Can it be a combination of things? Like, I think what you do like a variety of different
Mhm.
clients.
Yeah, right. Like having, and that was always kind of the way, even when I was freelancing, was a couple of retainer clients, or I did some agency work,
Mm.
excuse me, for a while, and then also some other freelancing. And so yeah, but it starts out a little slow. Again, I think I told you about how my first gig for like the first 6 months was writing about cars.
Okay.
Yeah, like blogs and web pages about cars for literally like $15 and $20 a
Oh,
pop.
wow.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So, everybody starts out somewhere, like that
Yeah.
was my very first thing. But then it was through different conferences and then meeting other people and continuing to hone the craft that I ended up starting to get those referrals and whatnot, and just kind of built it from there.
Yeah.
Not that your journey will necessarily look like that, but it was just really organic, kind of the way it started. But it did start out very slow, and like,
Yeah.
and I was, yeah, not making a ton of money, but I was doing it, I was writing and I was in building it up. So I think you're in a good spot where you're going to be quitting your job. So you've got that motivation.
Yeah.
And then maybe, yeah, working with Moxie to ramp up the work in August. And then you've got plenty of time to look around and see what else is going and keep checking out all those different job boards
Mhm.
and yeah, if you're doing the financial, I know
Mhm.
they always need emails for financial writing. So if you
Right.
do find that you're interested in that, that can be a really steady gig if you like it. So,
I think that there's so much available, it's just deciding.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh, I just need to decide from all these options, but it's like, and having the confidence to just say, yeah, I'm doing that,
Mhm.
and getting good at it. And yeah.
Well, and yeah, and that's like a hurdle that everybody kind of faces, is that confidence. But I think, yeah, I would just encourage you to take the leap, because especially with Accelerator, and you have this whole group of people that can support you and provide guidance and feedback on your writing. And so you're not having to do it all alone. So
Mm.
it would, yeah, like take those leaps and try and almost, I want to say, like, say yes to everything, but
Mm.
but really look at it like, especially in the beginning, it's like I just kind of said yes to just about everything, and not everything, many things didn't work out, or I didn't do more
Mm.
than once, but
Mm.
it's all experience and practice writing, and
Yeah.
you'll
It's
get
always
there. Yeah.
it's always different, which is good too, right? Yeah. Speaking of the accelerator, I'm just trying to think ahead to how much longer I'll want to and afford be able to afford to at this point continue. But I'm thinking I'll stick until the fall probably. And
Okay.
I think
And then,
there's a live event in September, so not sure. There's an in-person event I think they talked about in September. I'll try to see if I can make
I've
that.
seen that
And
one
then
yet. Where,
I think
where
Copy
is
Cheap
that?
Live is usually November-ish.
Yeah,
Oh,
November, October,
November-ish.
November.
Yeah, they mentioned they were going to try to do another in-person in where Rachel's at now in Knoxville,
Oh, nice. Okay.
middle of September, I think. Yeah.
That's right. I did see that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I forgot it was September. Nice. And then did you say you did have some success at that social media conference too, didn't you? Or how's that going?
I sort of regretted that I went. It was,
Oh,
yeah, it was a weird, people are like all excited because it's like in person again, and people didn't really know how to behave. And that was good for me too. I mean, it was some useful information. And
yeah.
I talked to people. The one lady I talked to about writing LinkedIn bios, she hasn't come back to me. So I think she maybe got the feeling from me that I wasn't that interested. And so I just didn't pursue it. So that's that old feeling of that I've had with clients where it's just like they ghosted me. It's like this isn't really working. That maybe that's the lesson for me. Like, okay, you need to either decide that the person that you met with and you liked, and you're going to pursue it and have a positive feeling about it, the woo confidence thing, or not. It's like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
So
well, that's a good point. Yeah, because it could be, your subconscious telling you you're not into, you're like, I want some work, but I don't, meh,
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, if it's a confidence thing, then I would. But I think it comes down more to like that feeling of like excitement, like I really want to do this,
Yeah. And
like
they can tell.
yeah, and maybe that's just helping you decide where you want to go and who you want to work with. And that's so much of it in the beginning too, is like, well, what do I want to do and what do I like? And then a lot of that
Mhm.
experience is like, oh, now I know I don't like that. Or that was a red flag, and you just start
Yeah.
to accumulate all that knowledge from experience. And so, but even
Mhm.
in this first quarter, you've made a lot of progress, and I think you'll continue to make a lot. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I think you're doing great.
So
Yeah,
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 that's
I
good
think
to
that the
check in and
feedback
just
will
kind
be
of
too. What's that?
oh, just a reminder to keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 And yeah, like I said, I think you're making a lot of really good progress. I think one thing too that I forget somebody asked, I don't know, she was talking about like sort of conflicting, like sort of feeling like she should be doing this, but like a little bit like we
Mm,
talked about feeling like she should be doing this, but not really wanting to, or like making room, or like should be doing it, but just isn't making time for it or whatever. And
mhm.
my advice or like my thought on that is to always sort of follow your own curiosity and your own kind of gut feeling.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, if it's not something you're interested in, then you don't, you might not want to spend the time doing it. Again, at the beginning, it's nice to take a variety of projects to see. But
Mhm.
also if you're just like, ugh, if your reaction to something is just like, eh, then I mean, if you can say no, then say no to something like that that doesn't make you feel good. So
Right. It's like am I wanting to do it because I feel desperate and I just want to do it because I need to make money, or is it something I'm genuinely interested in? But it's like, oh, I don't have the luxury of, that kind of thing. But yeah, probably trying to follow more of the positive side than the negative side.
yeah, yeah.
And just trying to even talk about, it's like, this is what I do for a living. I saw Kevin sent a thing about you should have an elevator pitch. It's like, I need to get that together. So when I do leave my job, I say, this is what I do.
Hey, yeah.
This is who I work with, and this is what I write. Yeah, that kind of having that professional presence would be
Right.
helpful.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, when someone asks you what you do for a living, what do you normally say?
Well, now that I have like a full-time job at the moment,
Okay,
so I
right.
do say like I just my title, I'm like, oh, I'm a digital marketing strategist at PESI.
Right.
But really, digital marketing strategist, I mean, that sounds pretty fancy, but I mostly writing emails
Mhm.
and sales pages, and I do have more of a say in the strategy of it, which is nice versus a lot of times when I was freelancing, I
Mm.
because I didn't position myself as that sort of expert, I was a little bit more of like that kind of pen for hire.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I've been getting to do more sort of strategy than I was
Mm.
previously. But at the same time, though, when I was working at the agency with Chris, we'll have like brainstorming meetings, and
Mm.
it wasn't ever just told what to write. It was like we were all expected to come together and generate ideas and kind of figure
Mhm.
out how to go about it all together. Um,
Mhm.
so I think then like at this point, I would just say probably I'm an email marketer is kind of the more general
Yeah.
term. And so I think then I started identifying more as a marketer versus a copywriter.
Yeah.
And just because,
With copywriting as a specialty, kind of thing like that.
yeah, with maybe copywriting as a
Mm.
specialty, because I'm not just like a marketing sort of manager, because I have to write all the copy as well. That's
Okay.
not like I can farm that out or anything.
Yeah.
So I would think I would mostly just say marketer or email marketer is kind of how I describe
Mhm.
my, like, what I do now. So you could even
Yeah.
just say that, like, and as an email marketer, and even just saying either what you're working on at the time, or I work for a variety of clients,
Hmm.
maybe this, that, and the other thing, and maybe naming the top three that you like to do or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the niches or something. Yeah.
and I think marketer too, like, I mean, because that I think is ultimately, as we grow, we become more marketers than just copywriters, because we have that experience and that authority to help them figure out the strategy and tell them, kind of what our 2 cents, as far as, well, are you sure you want to do that, or like, what
Yeah.
about this, or like offering different your perspective. So I say, or you could even just say marketer. I mean, there's lots of things too, because you like writing the Facebook ads. So and I'm a freelance online marketer. I mean, yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots of
Something.
things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got to write it down. For
Yeah,
practice.
write it down. Yep, figure out
Yeah.
what you feel like encompasses it the most.
Yeah.
And then I think, because a lot of times then you say it in an interesting way too, like then people are like, oh, what is that?
Yeah. Right.
And
Hmm.
then you get started talking about it, and then like, oh, I think I know somebody that could use your help. They're like,
Mm.
well, here's my card.
Yeah. Right.
So not that you say it in a way that's like purposely vague, but in a way that might incite some curiosity. And like, well, what does that entail? You're like, what is that? What do you do?
Yeah. What is that exactly? Yeah. When
Yeah,
you start to say copywriter, they're like, copyright? Do you do
right.
you do
Yeah.
blogs? I'm like, no.
Yep.
I could, I guess. Is that copyright? Yeah. Direct response. What's that?
Yep. Right. Yeah. Yeah. You get direct response. I mean, I feel like you can even say direct response email marketer, because there are
Mhm.
some, I think generally, I mean, we know that pretty much all email has some kind of call to action in it. You're not just, but at the same time, that might, other people don't necessarily know that idea of direct response. So you say, I'm a direct
Right.
response email marketer. I'm like, oh, what is that? Like to
Yeah.
us
You're just writing
inside,
emails? Like, okay.
right, like inside the industry, that seems pretty obvious, but outside, like, people don't know those terms necessarily. So, yeah.
Say it
And
in a
then
way that
as a
makes sense.
follow-up, then maybe you have like your follow-up question or answer of like, like, oh, what is that? Like, well, I help, X, Y, and Z kinds of companies make more sales, or either sales, or even customer engagement, or list building, however,
Mhm.
you want to say it, or
Mhm.
all the things. Um, but yeah, like I help companies
Yeah.
increase their customer base, and try to I mean, you can say sales. I'm trying to think of a different way of, like,
Yeah.
increasing revenue and customer retention, or even just finding like the real layman's terms to say that. Um, but yeah,
Right.
like through email, like,
Engagement. I think that's good. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think, too, the engagement is key. Like, even if people aren't buying something every time, like just being on their list, and like, because then you might buy something eventually. So I think
Mhm.
engagement is a big thing. And so often, a lot of those emails that we get are those big pictures, sale, 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 buy this, and it's like, that's not what
Right.
you do. So if someone's like, oh, like those, you're like, well, no. Like,
No, no. Yeah.
so yeah, I think too, a lot of times people think of,
Storytelling and all that kind of stuff.
like story-based
Yeah.
emails, yeah. Versus, because maybe that's what people think of when they think of email marketing, is all those sales, and all that, the big graphics and
all the
Right,
stuff they don't want in their inbox. Yeah,
right, and they're just like, more sales, and like,
delete.
yeah, more like engaging emails, or then maybe that's for that direct response, story-based, story-based direct response emails, story-based emails that help build brand loyalty and increase revenue or something like that.
Oh, yeah, some kind of a structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go back. I need to go back and look at the Rebel Yell part that talks about that.
Oh, sure, yep.
Yeah.
And then maybe you just have like an example in
I think
mind,
the last, yeah, exactly.
because if someone's like, oh, or like, and like, well, what, have you ever seen this? Or maybe it's either something you've written, or maybe, I'm not even sure what might be like a big brand that people would know that uses those story-based emails. It's more like small businesses and whatnot, but yeah, maybe something like almost like writing like a letter, an email from a friend. Not those big graphic, obnoxious emails, but more story-based. Like Laura Belgray always calls it that, she said you should write your emails like they're emails from a bestie. Like,
Yeah,
like familiar, friendly, yeah.
Yeah, she's got it down, huh?
She's so good, yeah.
Hopefully she'll be at Copy Chief Live this year too.
That'd be awesome, yeah. I like seeing her. She's fantastic.
Yeah. Do you usually go to the live session? Well, I know it was virtual this last year.
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, I went to the first. Was this the third or the fourth Copy Chief?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but I've been to them all now.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I joined Copy Chief in 2016, I want to say. 2017, something like that. So I was a member when they came up with the first Copy Chief Live. And so I was able to attend it, and then I had such a good time, I went back the next year.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to decide between the accelerator event or that. It's like, okay, I think maybe one or the other. So probably.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, that's totally up to you. The Copy Chief Live will be, I would think, like a bigger, well, it kind of depends too. I mean, that's a bigger event. It's still pretty intimate, but it's obviously bigger than the X amount of, 50 people or whatever that are in Accelerator. So yeah, maybe it depends on the different speakers or what you're looking for, because the Accelerator might provide a little more targeted workshops and like what you're trying to get, like where you're trying to get to,
more one-on-one stuff. Yeah, that's true. Right. I think the last time we met, you were still doing some stuff for Chris O, and now you just said you're full time with, where are you working now?
So I work at a company called Pessy, and it's headquartered in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is where I live. And I was also working with Chris, but then I'm just on a hiatus from that. I hope to get back to it.
Oh, okay.
But then I took like an 8-week business leadership training. So I was doing like this 8-week training that was requiring like 5 to 6 extra hours a week, and working full time and teaching yoga, planning a wedding, and I was like, I just gotta pause this.
I gotta drop something for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then now I'm actually taking another class that's 7 weeks. That's more about data, like learning to tell stories through data.
Oh wow.
I've always been sort of a self-identified word girl, like not really.
Data. What?
I've never really been close friends, and so I saw this, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to, because now at my current job, then too, I have access to the data, and we're expected to make sort of data-informed decisions. But I realized that like I don't really know, like aside from like, well, this percentage is higher than the other one, so this one's better, right? It's like
data.
Trying to figure out what is this, what are these numbers, what is the story these numbers are telling us. So I'm hoping that's what this class says it's going to do, is help learn to tell a story through data. And so then that will go into mid-June, and so then possibly this summer going back to freelancing. But
nice.
Yeah, okay. I had to let something go for a minute because I was just getting a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, it's nice that you keep adding to your skill set and keep learning. It's always great.
Yeah, I enjoy learning and just kind of, yeah, wanting to continue to grow and yeah. So it's kind of, I did the same thing too. I think when I was freelancing, I just never stopped even when I got a full-time job. I still was like, ooh, I like this. I want to try that. And like,
Go check it out. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you.
Yes, do you have any other questions? Was that helpful? I feel like I just
It was
talked.
really helpful. Yeah, it's just to get to talk and just kind of check in and see how you're doing. And but it always comes back again. I'm like, oh, we talked about that. You know, it comes around again, and
Yeah.
it's just good to be getting started. Feels like so.
Yeah, and it was good to see your Q2, report or your self-report, and then really see that you have come a long way in just these few months. So congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Yep, I think you're doing awesome. It's gonna be good.
All right. Well, thanks, Amanda. Hey, next time I talk to you, you will be
I'll be a married woman.
will be a married woman. Yes, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Just deep breathing.
Right, yeah, just trying to stay calm.
Hope you've got a couple days baked in on either ends. You
I
can take a
do,
break.
yeah. I'm taking like Thursday through Tuesday off, so no work, nothing else, but just wedding and then decompressing after the wedding.
Do you get a honeymoon somewhere nice?
Well, we ended up not taking a honeymoon. We were looking into it, and like I think even since like October, and it was like the places we found that we liked were a good price and everything was great, but then the flights were like stupid expensive, or
Yeah.
they would only fly like on Saturdays, so we'd have to go like like one flight, once a week, or there
Yeah.
was like a 10-hour layover on the way back, or and so it was just like it just got to feel like an obligation. We're like, we don't have to do this right now. We can
Yes.
just,
Take a vacation later and make that a honeymoon or something.
yeah, exactly. We might just do something like that. We'll just go somewhere like in the fall or in the winter and
Nice.
do something warm then.
Something somewhere warm in the winter. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's getting to be May, it's warming up. It's like, well, it's
Yeah.
kind of a silly time to like go to the Caribbean or, like,
Right. That's something for December, January or something.
yeah, so we'll just probably put it off for a little bit and then just go and have a nice romantic vacation 6 months down the road. So,
Perfect. No pressure.
right, yeah,
better.
and then we can just have a couple days to just sit at home and chill out.
Yeah, that sounds good too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting, and
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will see you in the forums and I will talk to you again soon.
okay, thanks, Amanda.
Okay, thank you. Bye, Mary.
Bye.